Good afternoon, everybody. Coming at you from Where Does the Buffalo Roam? I'm Geraldine McManus, and I'm going to talk today about Harvey Weinstein and Misty Upham. Misty Upham was is a up and coming actor in our community, and was found dead quite a few years ago. But the reason I'm bringing this up now is because Harvey Weinstein is finally going up for charges. And so I'm just going to quickly give you a rundown. Misty Upham had done was in quite a few different roles over the years from 2002 to 2014 before her death. She was in Skins and played Mrs. Blue Cloud in 2002, and in 2002 Skinwalker she played Nina. 2003 Dreamkeeper, she played a chief's daughter. 2003 Edge of America, she played Charlene. 2008, one of the big ones, Frozen River, she played Lila Wolf. And in 2010, Big Love, it was a TV series, she played Leela Stillwell. 2012, she had a part in the Django Unchained, and she played Minnie. 2012, Every Other Second, it was a short, she played Nurse Kelly. And 2013, Jimmy P, she played Jane. 2013, August Osage County, she played Jonna Monaveta. And then 2014, Cake as Liz. And so as Weinstein goes to court, we see how kind of far this is going to go. And so I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. Juliette Lewis stated that Misty was in fear of her life after the rape at the Globe Awards. And she also doesn't think Misty committed suicide. So that's just something to think about. So Weinstein is getting charged, but here's my thoughts on that. Why is not the executives who raped Misty Upham ever come to court? Of course, it was because Misty was not wanting or willing to press charges as much as her father and her mother asked her to do that, and that was too bad that had occurred. And so those executives who raped one of the executives who raped Mindy, and the others who watched and applauded this horrendous act, of course, on Misty, is something that I always think about, and as I've read over the years the articles about Misty, and I think it's a real tragic in our community, because Misty Upham was an incredible up and coming actor. And I think that we have a lot to. Reason I'm thinking about this, I guess, is because Weinstein's up and going for charges, and so it's really brought a lot of this back up for me. And so, as I think about this and I see the actual perpetrators go on with their lives, which they are, and they are sitting back saying, "Well, Harvey, will take the blow," and so basically these executives are in the clear, which is a real tragedy. I mean, if you think about it, right? And so that kind of really bothers me, and I think that it should bother other people as well. And I'm sure her family, are happy that Harvey Weinstein is probably going up on charges. But I think what there is a lack of is the other people that are involved in these actual crimes committed against women, and of course these executives who were applauding as this was happening to Misty. And so these are the people that, of course, are sitting back, and they are in the clear, if you want to think about it, because no charges were ever brought forward. And so these executives, even though Weinstein, if he does go to jail and get charged, these executives are still going to go on and continue to do these things, I'm sure, to other women. And so this is a big problem. Hollywood is being outed. Actors are being outed, producers, everybody around the world since the Me Too movement are being outed for this, and so this is going to be an ongoing thing for these perpetrators, and I'm hoping that more of them get brought out and get caught. And so you know, I hope that this could be looked at more. I'm not sure how that's possible, but myself, I hope that it could be looked at more. And I doubt it, because in Indian country, this is how our Indian people are treated, and not considered to be important enough to have these kinds of things solved. You know, and this is, and you know, and her dad states this is an institutional problem that exists in organizations, and corporate America, including religious orders, law enforcement, politics, education, federal and local governments, and the victims are many. Of course, as we know, here in Canada, with the MMIW, and so according to the Violence Act, the Violence Against Women Act of 1994, Indigenous women have the highest rates of uninvestigated violent sex and abuse crimes among women per capita. So we have to think about, what does that say? And of course, it says a lot. And as women, as an Indigenous woman, I totally get this, and I totally understand. And it saddens me that you know, here we are in 2020, and it is just now that we're starting to begin to look at all of these things, and that they're becoming more and more apparent in the media, and that more and more of these men are starting to get charged. But we have a long way to go still. As a woman survivor of rape and sexual abuse, I'd like to think that one day that we can bring all rapists and abusers to justice. But you know, you know, as we all understand, that's going to take time. And as a Bear Clan member, if I could do it myself, you know, I would try and come up with a way. But this is my idea now, talking about this on my YouTube station. And I think, you know, I'm going to keep talking about these things and keep bringing up these issues at some point. But there's so many issues in our communities to talk about. But this is just one of them. And like I said, this just came to, you know, more to my attention watching, you know, the Harvey Weinstein case. And you know, we do know that there are others, and many women out there and abused, that are still continuing this to this day, getting abused or being re-victimized by having to be maybe working with their abusers or their rapists, or having to witness how rapists and abusers kind of climb up the ladder and get into powerful positions. And I don't really think that that's very far off in our own communities as well. When we think about it, we have, and I know I've been told, and had stories shared with me, how women in our own community are victims of abuse or sexual assault, and don't really have a voice, and they've had to work with their abuser as their boss or in high positions, which makes it very hard for women to come forward and talk about these things. And I think in the Indigenous community that we do have a lot of things that we need to look at. And I think as Indigenous women, we do have to stand up and start talking about these things. And I think it's high time that we stop being the victims and we start coming forward to talk about these things that are going on in our communities. I, for one, have charged a relative, and I was asked not to, because my relative was sick and was just wanting to pass away, and I guess make this go away. The Crown came to me and asked if I could just drop all charges. and let this go away. And I had to sit there by myself and in tears decide what to do about what the Crown came to me and asked. And as I sat there, I became angry because even the Crown that was supposed to be defending me asked me to just let this go. What happened to me on a consistent basis at times when I was near my perpetrator or when he was in the home or around. And when he went on to continue to hurt other people in my family, young girls, that's when I decided to kind of go forward and in the hopes that I could stop this person from continuing the assault on my younger female family members. And so, is this important to come forward? I think so. And when I did finally decide what to tell the Crown, I told him, you know what, on the grounds of whatever it was they were asking me for, I think compassionate grounds, I had allowed the charges to stop and I wouldn't continue through court. But I did tell the Crown that I wanted to stay on record because I was looking at being accused of a money grabbing woman who was trying to, charge this person because I wanted money from the family. I never went after any money. I wasn't interested in money. And I think many of us, are not interested in that. We just seek justice. And so is it important for you to stand up and to do these things? Yes, it is. And there was a woman in BC who actually helped me come forward by doing this. And forever and a day, I'm very thankful for that woman's conversation way back in the 90s to help me to decide what to do because it was bothering me. And so these things are very important for women to kind of move forward with and help put these things behind us. I'm not saying that charging your perpetrator or doing coming forward is going to really help you let all this go. But I know in my heart I did what I did because I thought it was the right thing to do, because we can't allow these perpetrators to continue to assault us and to go through life thinking that they get away with these things. And so this is one of the reasons why I'm speaking up and talking about this. And I think, I hope that one day that we could, as women, and Indigenous women, come forward more to talk about our abusers and our perpetrators and also hold them all accountable, because this is extremely important, to start holding these men accountable, or women, whoever it may be. Because we know this doesn't just exist in the male community who are the abusers. Finding out that there are women who are also abusers. Of course, we've all understood that. From a lot of the media attention that's going on in a lot of different areas. We're seeing that in the Epstein case. Ghislaine Maxwell was a great, big, huge part of what was going on there. And there's other infamous women who have been involved in certain specific sexual crimes as well. So these things, of course, are important, I think, for survivors to talk about, and even if it's just in private, if you want to share something like that, and find out what I did to move on. I think it would be somewhat beneficial. And like I said, you don't have to go public like I have. You don't have to go to court like I have. But I think finding a way to live with these things that have been put on many of us women, it's extremely important. And I'm hoping that this channel, Where the Buffalo Roams, will help women to come forward and do what it is that they need to do to maybe move on in their lives and feel a little bit more secure and feel a little bit stronger by taking back that pride, by taking back their power. And that's something that I'm actually hoping to encourage in our women. So this is just a small part of what I wanted to talk about. Of course, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of more issues around all of this, towards our children, and towards many women and young men around the country, not only here on Turtle Island, but in the UK. It's an extremely, um, uh, extremely harsh. Um, um, it's an extremely harsh thing that we're having to do. But I think in the UK, it's been really coming out big time, and that's really something that's, of course, is something that has to be done. And I'm glad, and I applaud all those people who are coming forward and talking about it throughout the world, and who are bringing a lot of light and attention to these issues. The Me Too movement started and is just beginning, and we have a long way to go. And in the Indigenous community on Turtle Island, we certainly do have a lot of things that we have to talk about and look at. And I'm hoping that we can do that in the very near future. So please message me and talk with me privately, or whatever it is that you would like to do to maybe to raise more awareness for our women around Turtle Island and around the world. And we're not alone. I want you women out there, to know that you're not alone, and that I'm here. And if you're interested in talking, well, feel free to message me. Geraldine Yvonne McManus is my Facebook site. Privately message me, and we can talk, and we can just share, maybe even about these things. I don't have to go public. We can just keep them private. So that is just my message for today. That's just one of the many messages that I'm going to have coming out. There's lots of things for us to discuss. So, all right, I'm going to try to keep them short. I'm watching my time on this, and I hope that you enjoyed this little chat. And I'll continue to come up with all kinds of interests and topics to talk about, of course. And that's it for today. I'll try to come back and talk to you all soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.